recently I was online and I saw a conversation that come up about homophobia. And what really irritates me is that for a person like me, let's say I had a woman one time that tried to tell me I was homophobic, and I said, "Well, how am I homophobic?" And it was because I expressed the fact that I don't agree with homosexuality according to the Bible, according to religion. So I said, as a person outside of religion, I believe you have every right to live your life the way that you see fit. Live your life how you see fit. I said, but from a religious lens, I think that's wrong. I think it's wrong because the Bible says it's wrong with other things. So I don't draw a line of separation between the sexual sins, whether it's adultery, fornication, you know, anything like that. All the Bible says that all of it's wrong. So if we're going to go according to the Bible, I say, okay, now if you don't believe in the Bible, okay, fine. Then you're not governed by what it says. Do what you want to do. But if you say you believe in the Bible, or even if you don't, that's my belief. That's how I view humanity. So don't try to tell me how to feel about it. As long as I don't hate you, as long as I treat you with respect, then that's all you can ask for. And I don't disrespect people. I don't. I try not to. I'm not going to be hateful and call you slurs or whatever else just because you're gay. To me, that's not right, because the same Bible that tells me that homosexuality is an abomination tells me that I should love my neighbors as myself and do unto others, and that I should love people and be compassionate. I know what it's like to live a lifestyle that people don't agree with. Just because I'm not gay doesn't mean that I haven't done things for my life that my parents didn't raise me to do. But in that time, I still wanted them to love me. I still wanted them to see me as a son. I still wanted them to say, okay, hey, son, this, that, whatever. So that's how I look at homosexuality. I might not agree with your decision, right? But I agree with your humanity. And I agree with the fact that you deserve to be treated well. If a gay man wants to pass out in front of me and he needs CPR, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh my God, he gay. I'm not going to help him. I'm going to help him. If I got to do mouth to mouth, I'm going to take the necessary precautions like you would do with anybody to, protect yourself. But I'm going to try to save his life. If I'm homophobic, I don't do that. There were situations at work where I had gay team members and we'd be around. And one time, we worked in tight quarters at the plant. And this guy, he was trying to get by. He accidentally brushed up against me. And I turned around because I just felt somebody touch me, but not like, what was that? And he looked, he froze. He said, I'm so sorry, man. I'm sorry. I looked down, I said, dude, it's okay. We work in a tight area. It's okay. I don't think it was intentional. I don't think he was trying to get fresh with me. So it's cool. When all the guys are standing around and we talking and we laughing, and you know how guys do when we goofing off, we laughing, and you might hit your boy on the shoulder, be like, boy, you stupid, this, that, and the third. If one of them did me like that, I'm not gonna feel away. I'm not gonna say because he touched me on my shoulder while we laughing, and my other partners touched me the same way, and I didn't get mad. That would make me homophobic. Now I know the difference. Now if I see something funny and a guy was to put his hand on me in the way that a woman would when she's flirting, and you say something fun like, oh my God, you so funny, this, yeah, we gotta have a conversation about that. But if it's just on some, bruh, man, you crazy, man, yeah, you a fool, I ain't gonna get mad at that. You know, we had a gay guy that come around, another one that whenever he came around, I dismissed myself. And then somebody said, oh, you got a problem with gay people. I said, why you say that? Every time he come around, you leave. I said, yeah, I don't have a problem with gay people. I have a problem with him because of the personality that he has assumed. He acts like a ratchet hood woman. And I don't like ratchet hood women. As a matter of fact, we had another woman to come around. She was loud, ratchet, alley, all that. I used to walk off when she came around because I don't like to be around it. If I don't want to be around a woman like that, I'm not going to be around a man like that. It's just period. I said, because this guy right here, he's gay. Whenever he come around, it's all jokes. We laugh. A lot of them brothers, when I worked with them, they looked at me like an older brother. Some of them didn't have brothers. Some of them did have brothers, but they would tell me, my brothers, they don't like the way I live, so they treat me a certain way. I said, well, that's not right. My uncle's gay. He's only 7 years older than me. We shared the same spaces a lot growing up. We see each other, we still hug, wrestle. What up? I done kicked it with him and his guy friends before, like his partner. Me, him, my sister, his partner. We go visit Georgia. We go to the crib. My mama there. We all playing cards, playing video games, laughing, drinking, having fun. Now, when they decide to go to the club, I don't go because I don't go to that kind of club. My sister go. So you got to draw the line somewhere. Hey, we sitting here laughing, joking. You know, we all people. My sister, when she was living in Georgia, because we all from Atlanta, but when my mom had moved back to Georgia because we had moved to Alabama, I would go visit my sister, and she had male that she worked around that were homosexual. We go hang out. Everybody's doing karaoke. Everybody laughing. We drinking. We pass the bottle around. You pass the bottle around and I drink it. I don't think to myself like, dang, where this dude mouth been? Not if I just drunk behind this girl right here. His mouth ain't been nowhere. The hers probably ain't. They both like dudes. You know, if I make a difference, then that might be homophobic. You understand? When I was, doing a lot of drinking, smoking, stuff like that, me and the guys, we passing the same blunt around. Everybody hitting the same blunt. Everybody passing the bottle around. We drinking. What's the difference? If you drink behind a man or smoke behind a man, you smoke behind a man or drink behind a man. You drink behind a woman, you smoke behind a woman. If she like dudes, you don't know what she doing with her mouth. Well, where she been. So I don't look at it like that. It's strictly based off my religion. And I had a woman that I grew up with that accused me of being homophobic because I expressed one time when asked that I didn't agree with it religiously. And I said, I knew you were gay when we were younger, before you knew you was gay. She's an artist. I said, I support your art. I put my sister on the art. I put my dad on the art. If I'm homophobic, I don't support you and I don't want to see you grow. I want to see you grow. When she got married and they had adopted a kid or whatever else, I said, congratulations. Hey, lovely family, doing good. Because you're a person and you're happy. I agree that people should be happy the way they want to be happy. But if we're talking from a religious standpoint, I'm gonna say, no, I don't believe in it. And then I had a guy one time, he asked me, he said, what's the difference between me being gay and your sin? I said, well, I don't pretend that my sins are good. You asked me, do I fornicate? I said, yeah. You asked me, did I drink? Did I smoke? Yeah. Did I cuss? Yeah. I was doing a lot of stuff I wasn't supposed to be doing. So I'm not judging you. If you want to be truthful about it, I'm disgusted with myself, but I'm honest about it. I never tried to hide it. I didn't go to church because I knew I wasn't trying to get right. I didn't try to pretend that what I was doing. I said, see, that's what it is. I don't pretend that what I'm doing is okay in the Bible. I will tell you, hey, it ain't right. Don't, I didn't let people see me do certain things because I didn't want to influence them. And I feel like I get in trouble for that. So I didn't want to go to church and live a lie, but I didn't want to try to influence people to do what I was doing that's trying to do right. So I kept it away from them. I said, but that's out of respect. But if you ask me, I'll tell you, no, I don't think that what I'm doing is right because the Bible says it's not right. You have to be honest. I said, so that's the difference between me and you. That's the difference in a lot of things. All the sins in the Bible and everything that God said is an abomination or, the different types of sexual immorality and homosexuality is the only one that people keep trying to make you believe is okay, according to the Bible. It's like, no, it's all together. I don't think I'm better than you. I don't think I'm worse than you. I'm right here. That's why I'm telling you, I'm not judging you. You understand? I'm not calling you a bad person. I'm not saying you deserve to go to hell or whatever else. You asked me how I felt about it. And I told you. I'm looking at you right in the eye. I'm saying, hey, we're in this together, my man. I'm not pretending that what I'm doing is right. I'm not running around telling people, oh, it's okay to do this. No, you shouldn't do what I'm doing. Why not? Because the Bible says don't do it. That's why. At least I'm being honest about it. So we live in a society where people like me that will support you, love you, help you, anything I can in this world. But the simple fact that I say on a religious level, I don't agree with homosexuality, the same way I don't agree with a lot of things, I become homophobic. If I say I don't agree with adultery, nobody calls me adultophobic. If I say I don't agree with fornication, nobody calls me a fornophobic. If I say that I don't agree with getting drunk, because the Bible says you shouldn't get drunk, nobody calls me a drunkophobic. You get what I'm saying? So why is it that if I say I don't agree with this, the same way I don't agree with that, if I say I don't agree with murder, nobody calls me a murder phobic. Nobody calls me a robber phobic. If I say I don't agree with idolatry, you get it. So why do I become fearful and have a phobia when I tell you that I don't agree with this the same way as everything else? I said that's not logical. I'm going to meet you where you are. We'll sit down. Let's have a conversation. I have sat down with homosexual guys that worked up under me and helped them advance their life, advance their careers. To this day, they'll still hit me up every now and then. Hey, brother, how you doing, man? Hey, I just want to thank you for the help. I say, hey, what's going on, young man? How you doing? All right, keep your head up. You're doing good work. Stay at it. Because I'm a brother. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be a brother. I'm supposed to be a guiding force. So on one end, I'm going to tell you, hey, I don't like that. I don't agree with it. But I'm still going to do like my parents did for me when I was doing music and other stuff. My dad didn't necessarily like the music I was doing, but he was still my parent. He still loved me when I came around. He let me know that he wasn't necessarily pleased with it, but that's where he drew the line at right there. Okay, I'm not pleased with it. Outside of me knowing that he wasn't pleased with, or he didn't necessarily agree with what I chose to do in my life at the time, he didn't treat me any differently. So the only difference that I would treat a homosexual man is in areas where I need to treat him differently because I have to identify you more as, okay, you're kind of, woman centered, like mentally, you like men. I have to identify you like that. So when it comes to things like being in locker rooms together, I got to put you in the same basket with the women. Hey, I don't want you in here while I'm naked. No offense, but I got to view you like I view women. Hey, get out. This is a private moment. Respect that. In society, we have a big issue with that. And we need to be able to sit down and have conversations and people not to say, there you won't find a person that calls me homophobic and really can prove it because I don't live like that. Never have. Never have, man. I done been through so many situations and have been around so many different people. If I don't want to be around you, it's not because you're gay. It's because of how you act. I don't like your personality. I just don't want to be around you as a person. I worked with a guy one time, one of my team members, he's come to work sad every day, messing with his quality, affecting his job. I pulled him to the side one day. I say, hey, man, what's wrong with you? He having relationship problems with the guy. The guy was, abusing him. I said, hey, look, don't ever let nobody abuse you in his life. But say, you got a right to be happy, man. If you with somebody and they make you feel away, you got to get gone. But don't let it affect your job either. I pulled him to the side. Somebody that saw me pulled me to the side and said, I thought you didn't believe in all that gay stuff. I said, well, whether or not I agree with how he chooses to live his life has nothing to do with happiness. And it has nothing to do with being abused or being in a situation that you don't need to be in. I'm going to help him get out of that situation. I'm not going to not help him because he's gay. I said, that's discriminate. And I don't do that. That's not love. That's not God. So it's one God. The same God that tells me that homosexuality is not right is the same God that tells me, hey, treat people right. So if I can help this young man get out of a bad situation, that's what I'm gonna do. But that's kind of that takes a different breed of person. Everybody can't be like that. So that's why when I say stuff like what I say, there are gay men that I have worked around that respected me when I told them I don't believe in that, and I told them why, but they never saw me treat them any different than anybody else. So then they understood, okay, he don't hate gay people at all. He just agrees with what the Bible says. There's no way that I'm gonna put myself in hell and I'm not putting you in there with me. If I believe that what I'm doing is gonna send me there, hey, we in this together. I'm not judging you. I'm just letting you know I got you a seat right here while you over there pretending like it's okay. I got you a seat right next to me. That's how I felt. So when we can have honest conversations, let's have honest conversations. I'm not trying to judge nobody. I'm not trying to say I'm better than you. I'm just saying, hey, let's be honest. If we're judging by the Bible and what we read, let's stop pretending that it don't say what it say. If you want to live how you live, fine. That's your right. Your God-given right to live how you want to see fit. but it is not your God-given right to live how you want to see fit and then pretend like God's okay with it when clearly he isn't. That's what I have a problem with.
The truth does not require you to like nor accept it. It can be tough and uncomfortable, existing on its own merit, independent of your feelings and residing outside the frameworks of your mind. For some, the truth is freedom, and to others, confinement.